Hey, fifth grade, it's Mrs. Skioka with your flipped math lesson for this evening. And tonight we're going to do a little bit of test preparation for upcoming end of the topic test. So let's get to it. Are you ready? Let's see if you're ready for division, since that's what all of topic 4 has been about. All right, so first we're going to start off with what do these words mean. And as I come to each slide, what I'd like you to do is write down each problem and then go ahead and solve it. Pause, pause the recording and solve the problem. And then at the end, I'll solve all of them and you can check your work and see how you did. Okay, so the first one is going to be some vocabulary. What do these words mean? So our first one, number one, is the words dividend, divisor, and quotient. What do those words mean? So pause the recording, write down a dividend, divisor, and quotient, write down what it means, and give an example. Okay, number two. Can you divide these problems using only mental math? So you can write it down, but see if you can do it just using your mental math without actually having to write a division box and putting the numbers in the inside and outside of the division box. Number three, we're still using mental math to divide 220 divided by 2. Number four, 3,600 divided by 3. We're still using mental math. And then for the next few, I'd like you to show me what is the most reasonable answer. Not what is the exact answer necessarily, but what's the most reasonable answer. So I have some story problems for us to read. So number 5. One tray holds 8 sandwiches. If there are 30 sandwiches in all, how many trays are needed? So you're going to need to write down the problem and the most reasonable answer. Number 6. That's supposed to say a loaf. A loaf of banana bread serves 6 guests. There will be 47 guests at the party. How many loaves will be needed to serve everyone? So please write down what the problem should be. Make an equation, write the problem, and then solve it with the most reasonable answer. Okay, now you should be done. If you haven't done 1 through 6, you need to go back and do those first before you look at the answers. So, number 1 was define dividend, divisor, and quotient. I'm going to just put a little bit of extra room there. Dividend is the number that is being divided. A divisor is the number, I'm going to put the sign for number, the number that is doing the dividing. And then the quotient, then our last one, is the answer to division problem. Okay, now if I were going to give an example, and I said 120 divided by 2 equals 60, okay, the dividend is the number that's being divided, that's this number, the dividend. The divisor is the number that's doing the dividing, that's this number, and then the quotient is the answer to the division problem. So that would be 60. If I were writing it in a division box, and oops, and I wrote it like this, 120 divided by 2 equals 60. The dividend is still the number that's being divided. 120 is the number that's being divided. The divisor is the number that's doing the dividing. It's 2. And then the quotient is the answer to the division problem. Okay, so we're going to use some mental math to do this one. 540 divided by 9. I know that my math facts, my multiplication facts, I know 54 divided by 9. I know that 6 times 9 equals 54, and if I know that 6 times 9 equals 54, then I'll know that 60 times 9 equals 540. So if I know that, then I'll know that 540 divided by 9 equals 60. Remember, another way that we talked about doing that is just don't look at the 0. Just kind of forget about the 0 for a minute, and then just do 54 divided by 9, and then you can tack on the 0. Again, just tack it on to the end like that, and then you get your answer. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. But remember, this is mental math, so you shouldn't have to put it in a division box like this to get your answer. Let's try another one. Number 3, 220 divided by 2. For just a minute, I'm going to kind of take that 0 off and then just look at the rest of the problem that doesn't have a 0, the rest of the numbers. So I've got 22 divided by 2. 22 divided by 2 is 11. Then I just tack that 0 back on, and it's 110. So 220 divided by 2 is 110. Number 4. 3,600 divided by 3. Again, I'm going to ignore the zeros for a moment and just look at the numbers that don't have 0 on it. So I have 36 divided by 3, and 36 divided by 3 is 12. Then I tack the zeros back on, and I have 1,200 as my answer. Okay? Alright, let's try our story problems. One tray holds 8 sandwiches. If there are 30 sandwiches in all, how many trays are needed? Now, I wanted to make an equation, so it's going to be 30 divided by 8 equals, I'll put T for tray. So I have to find out how many trays I'll need. So I put my numbers in the division box. Here I have the dividend, 8 is my divisor, and I have to find the quotient. So I'm going to do that now. Let me erase that. Okay, so I look at the first digit, 3 divided by 8. 3 is too small, so I'm going to go ahead and do both numbers. So 30 divided by 8. So I have to think about 8 times what is going to get me close to 30 or equal 30. Well, I know 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24, and 8 times 4 is 32. So if I get to 4, that's too high, so it can't be that, so it must be 3. So 8 times 3 is 24, and then 30 minus 24 is 6. So I'm going to need 3 trays with a remainder of 6. I forgot what I was putting on the trays. Sandwiches. With 6 sandwiches left over. So if I have 6 sandwiches left over, that means I'm going to need 1 extra tray. So I'm going to actually need 4 trays. I'm going to box my answer. Okay? Let's try another one. Loaf of banana bread serves 6 guests. There will be 47 guests at the party. How many loaves will be needed to serve everyone? Yeah, oh, forgot my A there. So, if I were going to write an equation, it would look like this. 47 divided by 6 equals, and I'm going to put L for loaf. That's how many loaves I'll need. Okay, so 47 divided by 6 equals L. So 47 is my dividend, 6 is my divisor, and then L is going to equal my quotient. Okay, my answer to my division problem. So I'm going to start with the 4, and 4 can't be divided by 6 equally, so I'm going to go ahead and do 47. Okay, so since 4 is too small, I'm going to divide it, 47 and divide it by 6. So I have to know my multiples of 6. I know 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24, 6 times 5 is 30. I'm getting closer to 47. 6 times 6 is 36, and 6 times 7 is 42, and 6 times 8 is 48. Ooh, 6 times 8 is too big, so it must be 6 times 7. So 6 times 7 is 42. 47 subtract 42 leaves 5. So I have 7 with a remainder of 5. So that means that 7 loaves of bread would get baked, but then 5 people wouldn't get to have any of my amazing banana bread. And that would be sad. They'd cry. So that means that I'm going to have to actually make 8 loaves of bread in order for everyone to get a taste of my yummy bread. Okay? So there we go. That answer is reasonable. All right, guys. So test is coming up. Good luck. I know you're going to do your best. Don't forget to bring your homework back tomorrow, signed by your parents, and show me that you did this. Thanks. Bye.